This Jocks 94.5 podcast is brought to you by Millennium Satellite and Video. Log on to msbnow.com. TV excellence everywhere. That's Millennium. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning starts now.
Welcome back in. Hour number 3, McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, Thursday, July 16th, 9 a.m. right here on Jocks. We'll continue the college football conversation throughout this hour, update you on ACC Media Days. But first, he joins us at this time each and every week. Thanks to our friends at Coke and Piggly Wiggly. It's the coach, Wimp Sanderson. Coach, how we doing?
Well, I listened to your show yesterday, Cole, and you talked about how to introduce a guest. I know y'all don't have to do anything to introduce me because I always ask a football question. I always come into your show and I have a football question because I think that's the best way for a dumb basketball coach to do on your show. But before that today, and I've got a really good question for you at the end of the show. I'm going to talk about something nobody else is going to talk about on your show, and that's the World Games. I'm just going to mention that. You know how much the winner of the World Games gets? 50.
The World Cup, not the World Games. Slightly different.
Okay. Well, same.
I'm actually more interested in the World Games.
I think if you win the World Games, you owe money.
I really want to know.
Well, whatever. Well, whatever I call it. $50 million.
I love it. Well, you're good, Coach.
50 to the whole team?
Yeah. Each player gets $700,000. Now, you don't hear that on your show very often. You're playing for a third and fourth, and you say, why you want to play for a third and fourth if you're not in the final game? Well, the reason is that the third place team gets $29 million, and the fourth place team only gets $27 million. So I think that's pretty interesting. I think second place, the Feds get Federation gives them $33 million. They come over here thinking that the United States is mean, scary, dangerous. You know where they like to go best of all? Walmart. They want to go to Walmart. You know why? You get free refills on all your drinks. Pretty interesting, don't you think?
It is.
I'd say
and
so.
they also they like air conditioning. And they feel like that the food that they give them is more portable than it is overseas. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know if that's any good or not, but I thought it was.
Coach, I want to ask you a question about playing a certain role because we brought up Texas Tech and there's some more news on some things that were happening behind the scenes with the entire Brandon Sorsby situation. But did you enjoy sort of a villain role, playing the heel, going on the road when people were against you, be it media, fans, whatever that was? Did you ever relish in that? Did you try to push that onto your team as something that they could be motivated from?
You're darn right. We went to Auburn. They're going to hate you. They ain't going to like you at all. And, I used it best I could, and you weren't around, but I'd throw that sport coat off early. I'd want them to piss us off, but I also want our kids to know we got to play hard. We got to play harder. We got to play well. We got to get after it. They don't like you. They'll burn your house. They'll burn your house down, kill your dog. And if you let them. So, yeah, I like to go in there where it's tough as nails. I never will forget one time my best. This is a halftime deal. I think I've told this before. One of my best teams went to Auburn, and I couldn't give them play. They weren't playing worth crap. And I mean, it was a great team I had. And I went in the dressing room and I was chewing their fan. I said, we're not doing anything. You don't want to win. I said, on top of that, when I went off the floor, Barkley winked at me, and they knocked the cotton picking door down getting out there. And I think trying to get your team fired up and ready to play is important, and being a horse's butt is important. I do. You can't go into coaching wanting to be liked. When I took the job at Alabama, I was disliked compared to the other coach. I didn't care. What I wanted to do is this. I say it all the time on this show, so you say, Keith says it every time. I wanted to feel like I did something for them after they left, not while they were playing. while they were playing, they weren't going to like it. But I wanted them to feel like and look back at it, and Robert Oyers and Spreewells and them, and I'm not bragging, but I think they realized that. I want it to be tough. I want it to be tough-minded on them, and I want them to play hard. But I wanted them to get a degree, but I also wanted them to know that I cared about them. I think that's important. You can get in a situation where you don't think they care about you, then you got problems. I don't know if that answers your question or not, but that's me. So.
No, it's great, and because we just talk about where Texas Tech is right now, it looks like that they are sort of the bad guy in college football. And
yeah, well, they've got the money. They've got all kind of money. They don't mind spending it. They're going to slide by the rules as best they possibly can. The Texas, look, Texas Tech wants to be Texas. Everybody wants to be Texas. They don't want a second name in the state of Texas. Isn't that right? They all would like to be what they think Texas is, all kind of money and all kind of prestige and all kind of society crap. And so, that's both of them. Texas doesn't want that to happen. For them to come in with a great attitude, and they need to come in there, thinking we can beat Texas. But they've got so much money behind them. I thought a good thought on Auburn. Auburn is come out saying today that some of the players on their team will benefit from this game with Baylor because of the Affleck thing. Let me tell you something. That's a great thing to say, whether it's right or wrong, because you got players coming in there to visit, and you're trying to talk them into coming to your school, not talk them into it, but try to show them the advantages of it. But I recruited for a long time, and I think I did okay. But we just put out something about Affleck. I don't know what we're gonna get. But they're thinking they hear that sentence by the athletic directors or somebody whoever announces it, and they get more interested there when they find out somebody, because we're in a money game right now. Greg, anything on that y'all want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, there's a million things to hit on. I mean, I think the money stuff, I think the buy-in stuff, I think the talent stuff, and there's a million things, Coach. I mean, the other thing I'm curious about with you is, like, we had to answer, I'll do some TV this morning and talk about Dabo Swinney.
Yeah.
And talking about culture creation, about, we can talk about heel turn, we can talk about Texas Tech situation, we can talk about everybody wants to, whatever. I understand all that, but I'm most curious for you from a coaching standpoint. When it feels like the world has shifted underneath your feet, and you coached for a long time in many, many different eras. So when it feels like the culture is shifted beneath your feet, and it feels like the game has changed, and how do you embrace that change while still being true to what it was that allowed you to get to the point where you're at, where you're highly compensated and clearly a beloved figure in the state?
Boy, I tell you what, that's a good question and a cotton-picking hard answer. I mean, that's a darn good question, because things happen to you only off the court while you're coaching that things don't go good. I had people. There's one in particular guy that busted I got to the final 16 so many times and didn't get by that. It just killed me, and I was to my day I'm disappointed in not doing that, not getting there. But I think you just have to be yourself, and you have to just know that the kids. You can't worry about what the public thinks. If you spend a whole cotton picking time worrying about that, you got to be darn sure that your boosters, the ones who give you the money now, are the ones who helped you recruit. If they back then, my booster might go and give one of my best players I was trying to recruit lunch. Take the lunch tour. She's at a hospital or something. That's all we ever did. We didn't do any cheating. We didn't have any money. But I think your boosters have got to be on your side, and you've got to understand who your boosters are and who your people are that just talk about it and don't do anything. And I think that's a big critical part. And I don't think I've answered your question, because that's a hard question to answer. But when I was coaching, we weren't shooting that many threes. Today, shooting more, we played inside outside. Today they play outside inside. If I'd been coaching today, they wouldn't have liked me, because if everybody had been shooting threes, I had played inside. I played inside out. I had good post people. We We had good shooters too, but we didn't go by the three. Alabama does in basketball. So I think it's big. I want to know this from both of you. Are there ever at times, and that offensive linemen want to show the quarterback where they stand?
No, not in game. If you're talking about in game, no.
Yeah, I
hate this so much. This drives me crazy.
Is that a bad question?
You get your ass to the bench.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of a way
I'm glad you're answering it great. Because I think it's a great question.
What's a basketball analogy for this though, Coach? Like if you have a ball hog, right, and he's taking all the shots, and Robert Horry says, "I'm not rebounding because Sprewell's shooting too much."
Same thing.
Robert Horry's going to the bench.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted to hear from you. I want to hear from Greg, too. I think it's such a good question. Sometimes, and here's the reason I say that to you. I think it's a good question, but I think money comes into play. I'm going to show the guys making all the millions of dollars that, he better be thankful for me.
Yeah, you're going to make no dollars. You're going to make no dollars because people are going to see the tape of you playing, getting beat, and say, well, we don't want him. Yeah,
I know the quarterback takes the offensive lineman out to eat, or back before the money came into play. But I just wondered, and it's and I don't know it all the time, but there are times that I wonder about that. Greg, you got any thoughts on that? I think it's a good question.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I think it's I don't know, Cole. Like, how would you assess it in today's day and age? Would you say?
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't think it can happen. You can't do it. You have to go do your job. And if you're jealous of the quarterback making more money than you, tough. Like, that's life. I mean, it's not the way the real world works.
That happens, though.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That happens.
But I don't think there are tackles that are letting defensive ends beat them because they're mad at their quarterback.
Well, I don't think
I think that's a misconception.
I think Greg's right. I think it happens, and I think that and our coaches and the coaching staff, and they're saying, what the crap's going on with this blocking situation? It's not worth it. They're thinking to themselves, have we got a problem there with money-wise? Go ahead, y'all.
I not to that extent. Now, do you have to deal with jealousy? Sure. Do you have to deal with envy? Of course. But not from if a wide receiver is jealous that the quarterback's making more and he goes out there and drops passes from said quarterback, the quarterback's not going to get benched because he made a good throw. The receiver is because he dropped the ball.
Yeah, right.
So now how do you handle the other stuff internally about a guy just being mad at the other? I don't know. We never had to deal with that. So I mean, it wasn't a real thing for us.
Neither one of you did much. I think probably Greg had to interview and be involved with it a little bit more. But I just think
But there can be animosity on a roster, though, and I think the animosity on a roster can expound when people are getting paid. Like, for example, like there were times when the offense hated the defense in college. Literally, hey, you're still friends, but like there were times like, golly, what are we doing? Like you're mad at the defense, you're mad at the kicker, or whatever it might be. And then the defense probably mad at us a lot too. Why the heck are they not score? Stop settling for field goals. This is ridiculous, animosity on a roster is not uncommon. I just think now basketball is different because it's not like you're taking guys off on offense and putting the defense out there and vice versa. You're playing both ends of the court. So you only have yourself to blame if for whatever reason you have a tough day. And you can play the best game all year on offense and lose in football. And that creates animosity. You think Texas Tech liked their defense? You think Patrick Mahomes liked his defense at Texas Tech?
Yeah.
Probably not a huge
Probably not, right? So, and I think when guys are getting paid, it only makes that animosity higher. This guy's being paid what, and he's not performing? This is ridiculous. I can see where that could happen. I don't think it affects your play.
I hear you that happens. I hear you the other day, which I thought was really good. It's not this, where you just said, I got a wideout on my team. He never was open. It never did work for him. And so I just, after I looked his way, I looked another way and threw it the other way. It wasn't about money for you because you're a heck of a quarterback. But it was, if I'm going to throw it to you every now and then, you got to be open and catch it. And there's a fine line between that and money. And I think to me, it's not ever asked on radio shows. Don't ask me, but it's just interesting to see, how money, and because the money affects mothers, it affects girlfriends, it affects rich uncles. It just does. It's everything is changing. I'm giving $15 a month laundry money when I was a GA at Alabama, and he stood in line a mile long every 2 weeks to get a check for $7.50, and then here I am, older than dirt, oldest guy on y'all's show, and see that is, to me, quite different.
It's very different. Speaking of different, I wanted to ask you one basketball question, because we've talked a little bit about sort of personnel in football and where some things are going on football. And there are a lot of people that think some of the old school stuff in football is coming back, that, more tight ends, fullback, running the ball, being able to possess the football, time of possession, things of that nature. It's coming a little bit more full circle. You brought up earlier, like, you didn't shoot as many threes when you were the head coach as what they do now, and how things are different. But do you see anything in basketball that is old school that's becoming new school again, like anything that is sort of coming full circle in the next few years?
Not much on the offensive end. Most of the people who are scoring and shooting threes and winning championships, they'll take it. They'll have a combination of inside outside. There's no doubt about that. They'll take it inside as best they possibly can when they can. But the outside guys, first of all, you can recruit better if now that you're shooting a lot of threes. You know why? Everybody thinks they can shoot them. And sometimes these big guys who are recruited, they're finding out that the big guys previous to them at the University of Alabama, Auburn, just got to shoot a lot of threes. They want to show you they can shoot them too. So they're interested in that, because I think the three-point shot is the way to go now. It was not the way to go for several of my years. It was a deal where we didn't have the threes at all, and then the latter part of my years, we did have the threes. And I can tell you right now, I didn't have my team shooting enough of them. I was old school and stayed with the inside game. I had good inside players, but I don't know of, maybe the block charge is a little bit different than it was, but I'm not going to get into that. But not much on the offensive end. Defensively, just for our fans, you don't see much zone defense because they think they can't defend the three. You can defend the three with a zone if you teach it. But the problem that you have with coaches today is they teach the man. They never teach. You have to teach the zone. And the biggest thing on stopping people that shoot the three is contest. You got if I went into the dressing room at halftime and we hadn't contested shots, it wasn't a good halftime. We got to contest the cotton picking shot. We got to get in their face, and we were very athletic. And we did the one thing nobody did. We left our feet on defense. We went after the ball. I had a lot of minority players. We went after the basketball as hard as we could and left our feet. Deflected a lot of shots. We felt like that was a way to play. We would play at practice. We'd play 4-on-5. We'd have 5 guys on offense and 4 on defense, and we'd get to the shooter with just 4 of them. And the 5 guys would move the ball fast. So that's what we did. Anyway, I think those are good things. And I always try to come up with a football question, but I thought that was a good one. Anyway, Piggly Wiggly and Coca-Cola bring me to y'all every week, and I appreciate y'all having me on. I think you're terrific. I listen to you every day if I can see if I can find something to gripe about, but I can't. So I listened to you yesterday, and you were talking about introducing your guest and how you should introduce them. You ain't got, all you got to do is say, we got that old basketball coach on. We can ask him something. We can ask him something. So anyway, I appreciate Coach and Piggly Wiggly having me on. I appreciate you guys.
We love having you on, Coach. Thank you so much. We'll talk next week.
All right.
There you go. The Coach Wimp Sanderson joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline with us every Thursday at this time. We have a lot more to get to, a lot more college football coming up. We're going to talk Auburn, their trip to Atlanta to play Baylor in the opener. Some more details on what exactly that means. Justin Hokanson will join us to discuss that. Going to have to wait on that conversation. But, Greg, one thing you never have to wait for is your dental care.
That's because Famicare Dental has you taken care of at the urgent care office, where you can be seen the same day in several locations to make it easy on you in Hoover, Fultondale, Homewood, Alabaster, and Trussville. They can get you in. They can see you on Fridays and Saturdays, and they'll get you taken care of. And those routine appointments now include free teeth whitening. So give them a call today at 874-9605. That's Family Care Dental, 874-9605.
All right, we'll be back with some SEC talk next right here on Jocks.
Don't leave Jocks back at the house. Download the Jocks 94.5 app and take us anywhere, in the car, at work, or at the game. Live audio, video, and podcasts on your schedule. The Jocks 94.5 app, wherever you may be.
When we talk SEC football, quarterbacks are going to be one of the first points of contention, first places that we go, and it should be a strong QB class in the SEC this fall. Want to get Greg McElroy's thoughts on something that I heard about quarterbacks yesterday, see if he agrees, and then take us into kind of where that might be in college with the quarterback position this year, specifically in the Southeastern Conference. First, I'll tell you about our friends at Game Day Men's Health. If you are lacking energy, feeling on edge, lacking sleep, Game Day Men's Health wants to help you. Do you need to lose some weight? Game Day Men's Health can help you there. Go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com today. Sign up for the free consultation and let them do what they've done for hundreds of Jocks listeners, and that's just get them feeling better. You get the free PSA test, free testosterone test. They give you your baseline health. With all of that, then they tell you what they can do for you. They'll present the options. You can save 10% on any of those options when you mention Mac and Cube and you walk in the front door. Get all the facts at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Holistic approach to health and wellness, and a minimal upfront cost from the programs that they offer at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Greg, I saw a quote from John Gruden yesterday via Not Just Football, and he was discussing the quarterback position right now in its totality and kind of where it sits. And he said that he believes football is dissolving, not evolving. I'm worried about the game. When you just run up to the line of scrimmage, clap your hands, hope for the best, I'd rather slam my hand in a car door than watch some of this. Specifically the quarterback position. Are you somewhat on board? Do you disagree as far as the evolution of where quarterback is right now, mainly in college football?
It feels a little bit doomsday scenario, does it not? I mean, I feel like quarterback play is at an all-time high. I feel like guys are more skilled, guys are more accurate. I think guys are more capable of being athletic. I think being athletic is almost a requirement now at this point of the college football's evolution. I mean, gone are the pocket passers that have to dissect you from the pocket. But then again, I mean, it was over the last 20 years, the position was getting more athletic. It was kind of trending in that direction. So it's not new, but now it's really a prereq, I think, to playing the spot. Yeah, I think a lot of the players now are very reliant on the scheme and the coach. I think that's true. And frankly, a lot of the post-snap read stuff, I can see why John Gruden wouldn't love it, because it makes it easier. You know, he's kind of a grinder. He wants to make it tough, and it's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, it's a little bit of the West Coast principle stuff. Like some of the guys that are true West Coast guys are like, this is the only way to run offense. You know what I mean? As opposed to be like, well, let's take a little West Coast. Let's take a little air raid. Let's take a little ground and pound. Let's take a little bit of the digit system. Like, there's a bunch of systems that can work, and the best offenses incorporate all of them. But I don't know how you feel about it. Like, that to me feels a bit aggressive.
It feels aggressive, but if you could maybe find a way to see new growth with the quarterback position, and you could sort of force that into today's offenses, where would that be? What would that be? What would you like to see quarterbacks that are struggling with something be able to improve upon the most? Like, where do you think the most ground could be made up with where the position is today? I mean, is it just reading defenses? Is it getting away from up-tempo offenses? Is it hell, going under center more? Like where do you just wish it was different right now for the quarterback position in college?
No, I don't care that much about I think reading defenses, I think understanding of defenses. Then again, the defenses nowadays are not your typical black and white defenses. It's a very gray area. There's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of rules that are broken defensively that work. So you're seeing more and more defenses that are unsound. You're seeing more and more defenses that are leaving guys open because they don't think they'll get there. Like they're rolling the dice a little more on that side of the ball too, which is a little strange. Back in our day, it was extremely sound.
Yes.
The only thing you ever saw was cover 2 and cover 3 and the occasional man.
That's it.
Jolie
Dunn ran that every time.
Okay, well, the overload, blitz, pressure, all out, zero stuff, there were places for that as well. But we started to see some real variations of quarter, half. We started to see some real variations of Tampa 2, 2-man, combo coverages. They're playing man on this side, they're playing zone on this side. This side's middle closed because they're doubling a receiver, or this side's middle open because it's doubling a receiver. The other side's middle closed because they're press man. We started to see evolution, and now you see a lot of combo coverages. You see a lot of guys that are not running a specific responsibility. They're more guarding areas, but it can convert to man. You see some pattern matching. There's a lot of variety now in defenses. So I think it's harder for the quarterbacks to identify. So I understand. Right now, it's a very reactionary, oh, goodness, here's what they're doing position. Whereas I think Gruden probably appeals to the era where every quarterback had a plan the second they went to the line and an answer for everything they could throw at you. Now it's kind of react and make a play. You know what I mean?
Yep. Kind of
doesn't make it worse, just makes it different.
Yeah, for sure. Going to be a little bit of different amount of money on the line for Auburn in their NIL when they play Baylor in Atlanta week 1. We'll get the details from Justin Hokanson next right here on Jocks.
Keys? Check. Seatbelt? Check. Jocks 94.5 on your preset? Locked in. Your ride's not ready till Jocks is on. Jocks 94.5. Your daily drive done right. Turn it on. Lock it in.
All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 9:32, Thursday, July 16th, right here on Jocks. Before we go to Justin Hokanson, learn a little bit more about Auburn Baylor and some of the things happening behind the scenes. Tell us, Greg, about Bromberg's.
Well, Bromberg's been the go-to here in the community for 190 years. They continue to provide an elevated experience for everyone that goes in looking for a generational gift, perhaps maybe a natural diamond that began its journey to your finger 3 billion years ago. Its original home was about 100 miles deep within the earth, and it's a luxury like no other. And it's honestly pretty amazing to know how much that natural diamond that you purchase at Bromberg's can help people all over the world. So highly recommend you going and checking out Bromberg's to discover the latest natural diamond jewelry. Maybe you want David Yurman jewelry. They have that. They have several other name brands. They are Rolex authorized retailers. So there's a ton of wonderful things the second you walk in the door at Bromberg. So go and check them out in Mountain Brook or at the Summit. You can also see them online at brombergs.com.
All right, let's go to Justin Hokanson now to discuss Auburn Baylor. Hoke, it feels like some details have emerged about what this game's going to actually do for the Auburn Athletic Department and NIL. What can you tell us further?
Yeah, I mean, what came out, I think they had a press release yesterday. The numbers in terms of what Auburn's going to get from an NIL perspective, I mean, we reported that 9 months ago. I mean, I wrote that they were going to get $4 to $8 million when it was announced 9 months ago. I think what's interesting about the news yesterday was honing in on the players involved. So there'll be about 24 players involved on the Auburn side. And so what that means is, obviously, if it's going to end up being $6 million towards NIL, it's going to go to those 24 players on Auburn's roster. Those guys will help promote the game, and that's selected by Auburn. I mean, and a lot of that has to do with getting that money cleared through the College Sports Commission. If you try to take the $6 million and spread it out over 85 players, it's a lot harder to get all that cleared. For player 80 and he's getting X amount, that's hard to get cleared versus the top 24. And most rosters, that top 24-ish, I mean, that's a large percentage of your NIL, demands anyway. So you get $6 million that you can take. It goes straight to those players, and helps offset what you've got to pay them, and it takes some pressure off certainly the need to go get individuals or companies or businesses, other third-party NIL people involved. So the deal in general, and the whole point of them doing it, was to help alleviate some pressure on the NIL side, help pay some of these guys, and alleviate some pressure that just keeps building in these athletic departments around trying to raise these NIL funds.
Well, understandable. So you're telling me that every dollar that Auburn makes on the neutral side is going directly to the players. That is what's being reported now. Because I've heard very different reports on this. A few different athletic directors have reached out for clarification. I've reached out to them as well. Because to me it feels like a loophole. But that's what you're reporting. That's what you've heard.
Yeah, my understanding is that $6 million will go towards 24 players on Auburn's roster. Yeah. And then they're obviously going to do their job on promoting the game and through social media and things like that. They have to do things to earn it.
Just out of curiosity, well, why couldn't you do this for any other endeavor at a home game or whatnot? Because yes, while the players stand to benefit in this scenario, what hurts is the student experience, not being able to have it in the home venue. I mean, what are the kind of the costs here of doing business? Can you ever pull this off at a home venue?
Yeah, and then that was when it was announced. That was there was a lot of fan pushback. There was people that want to go to Jordan-Hare to watch a game. Certainly people that have businesses in the city and the community that rely on tourism. So there was a little bit of that. I mean, the difference is this money is going directly towards the third-party NIL side, whereas if you do the home game, all of that's going in athletic department money, rev share. It's going to the rev share. There's two different sides. There's rev share and NIL. So if you do it at home, you get all the ticket money and you get the home experience, and the fans get the home game, and the city gets the tourism. But none of that money you can just take and just go straight towards your NIL demands, what you've promised from an NIL perspective to these players. And so that's the difference. They can do this game. They get $6 million that you go straight towards meeting the NIL promises to these players, and that takes a lot of pressure off trying to meet those demands other places. So yeah, there's some negative. I mean, there's some fans that want a home game. They want a Jordan-Hare home game with Baylor, and they want and the people around the city want that tourism, which is why you've seen the athletic department go out and go, okay, let's bring in Zach Bryan for a concert into the city. Let's bring Ella Langley. Let's bring in another concert, the soccer game. They've got more of those type of events lined up. That's why you see them doing that, because they're going, okay, the Baylor game we moved out, and it might happen again in the future. I mean, there's no guarantee. There could be another game where they move to a neutral, and it's an NIL type deal. That's why you see them start trying to bring in these local events, because all of that money, obviously that helps offset some of the tourism stuff that you lose from a home game. You're bringing all these people in for the city, but then you also can pocket some of that money from an athletic department standpoint and make sure you're meeting, your rev share needs.
Justin Hokanson joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline talking Auburn athletics. What role, or maybe lack of role, or maybe role that was turned down, assistance that could not be, maybe was decided not to be provided for this opening game against Baylor by the city of Auburn was real? What could have been done possibly by the city to maybe help keep this game in Auburn?
In what regard, I guess? Is there a controversy?
No, any regard. I'm just my understanding is that there are certain things that could have been done to help offset some costs that maybe could have kept the game there. Maybe even like you're referencing from an NIL perspective, probably not to the same extent, but they could have been done to be able to assist with that. Maybe what Greg's talking about as far as home games can be promoted too in different ways. There could have been a responsibility that was laid on the players to do it from the city of Auburn's perspective. I don't have anything detailed, but I'm just wondering, what role did the city play in losing this game to Atlanta? Because we know a lot of Auburn fans, like you mentioned, wanted it at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
I don't know. I don't know enough about the dynamics of all that and the internal conversations that go on to probably give a good thought on that. I mean, that's getting into some stuff that I'm probably not privy to in terms of could the city have done anything different? Are there tax breaks they could have given? Are there some different things they could have done to offset some costs so that they didn't have to go that direction? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'm sure there's something, but also the NIL component, I don't know how you get around that. I mean, keeping the home game here is all great, but being able to get just $6 million injected straight towards the third-party part of it, I don't know how you get around that by keeping the home game. You could keep the home game and make everybody happy and that's great. I get it, but I don't know how you got somebody coming along saying we're going to give you potentially $6-8 million and it's going to go straight to meet your third-party demands, and then you still got all the rev share that you're going to be able to hit. I'm not sure how you'd get around that with the home game. So I don't know. I mean, obviously Notre Dame in a couple of years, that's going to stay in Auburn, but there could be some other neutral site type stuff pop up. But yeah, I don't know about the city part. I don't really want to get into that because I don't know enough about it to indict the city on could they have done something different, or is there something Auburn is looking for in the future of, hey, do this and this, and maybe we won't have to move it out. That's probably above my pay grade.
Finally, before we get you out of here, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you how you think things are going to go next week for Alex Golesh in his first media day setting. I mean, what do you think his message will be? How do you think he's going to approach it? And what are you looking forward to hearing from the team?
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I mean, he's been. I mean, when we've just getting to know him in spring and the sort of speaking tour, I have no issues on kind of how he's going to come off and what he's going to say. I mean, he's pretty. I think he's pretty polished in front of the media and does well. So I don't foresee there being any issues in terms of him getting up there and talking. I think they picked three good guys: Byron Brown, Champ Anthony is one of the best. Man, he's great, and Alex McPherson. I think you're just going to hear, similar to what he said, I think you're going to hear from him a lot of culture stuff, a lot of creating a different mentality of how they attack practice. He is, listen, we see and hear these coaches, and we kind of try to feel like we either can decide if they're for real or not. You sort of hear them and you go, okay, is it coach speak or do they live it? Like, I think Hugh Freeze was coach speak. I don't think he lived some of the stuff. Like, Golesh comes off to me like he lives it. Like he is in the weeds. Like when he talks, like Nick, when he talks about process, he means it. And so I think you're going to hear a lot about that from him in terms of just trying to build back the program through the process of it, through the everyday type stuff. Through creating just a tougher-minded team inside and out. Like, I think that's the kind of stuff that you're going to hear from him. And I think he comes off pretty genuine just from being around him, but also talking to people. I think he lives it. Like, he is a football tyrant, for the lack of a better word. And so I think that's probably good for Auburn right now at this stage of where their program is. They probably need somebody like that. So I think you're going to hear a lot about that, about just trying to sort of shift internally and externally, just the culture and how they approach every part of practice, winning, recruiting, whatever it might be. And I think it'll be interesting just to see maybe the reaction from you guys and from other people on, do you buy it? What's your impression of it? And do you think he lives it and means it and can sort of build out that process and get Auburn back? I think that'll maybe be interesting to see the impression that he gives off, and do people go, I buy what he's selling,
Justin Hokanson with us on the Higginbotham Hotline talking Auburn football. Speaking of impressions, these on-the-field workouts that they've been able to have the last month or so, who are you hearing are making the biggest impressions as we head towards fall camp?
Yeah, I mean, you've obviously got the guys like Xavier Atkins and Byron Brown who are gonna do their part. I think somebody like Chaz Nimrod continues to be a name at receiver that you just need to keep in the back of your head. Keyshawn Singleton was kind of the leading touchdown guy last year. You know what you got there. But Chaz Nimrod is maybe a player people haven't heard as much about and has got as much ability as anybody. So he's one at receiver. Bryce Diaz at linebacker continues to be a guy. You've got Xavier. You got Elijah Melendez. Bryce Diaz is a freshman last year. Durkin loved him. Came from that St. Francis pipeline. He's going to be really good. He's another guy that I would sort of keep an eye on the defensive side of the ball. So those are two that stand out to me: is Bryce Diaz on defense and Chaz Nimrod on offense. In terms of maybe you don't hear as much about them, but could be really, really important players to like the depth at linebacker and the depth at receiver, and adding that another potentially elite player that could help you win games.
Oh, great stuff, man. Thanks for hopping on with us today. It was short notice this morning, but I wanted to get some of that NIL conversation over the air, and I knew you would have the details on it. Look forward to seeing you in Tampa.
Yeah, absolutely. See you guys.
There you go. Justin Hokanson joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline, talking a little Auburn football and what that game against Baylor will mean in Atlanta. @_J Hokanson. You can follow him on Twitter. Find him at the On3 Sports Network, where you can get all your college football needs. I thought you brought up a great point, Greg, and not really directed so much at Auburn or Hokanson, but like, why can some of these players not find NIL money from different streams to promote home games, or just things that have been happening for 100 years?
Well, I mean, first of all, moving things to a neutral site, and I know it's not the most neutral site, but it does impact your ability to control the environment. I mean, so you want to win the game first and foremost. Like, paying your players is great, but like, let's win the game. Like, you know what I mean? So, and what gives you the best chance? Is it in Jordan-Hare or is it in Mercedes-Benz? I personally still believe that it's Jordan-Hare. So if there's a loophole or an angle where these players can promote the game, and this can get through the CSC, because I've had multiple athletic directors. Like I said, when this thing came public, I had multiple phone calls from multiple schools saying, hey, the way you're reading into this is not entirely true. Like, you can't do that. You can't take the money from playing at a neutral site and direct it straight to the players. Now, I think they can get a piece of it. I don't think they can get all of it. I think they get a piece of it through the promotional channels, because the College Sports Commission is going to sit there and say, well, hang on, people are going to watch that game not because your quarterback sent out 2 TikTok videos about being in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they're going to be able to maybe fine-tune this a little bit. Probably won't get all 6 million, but they'll get some. So if that can be done in Atlanta, why can't that be done in Auburn? Because there's people's businesses that are impacted by this. There's people's livelihoods that are impacted. I mean, one less home game is significant impact to the GDP of that local community. So I personally, like, I'd love to, if raising money for NIL is the ultimate goal, awesome. Then you did a good job. But if giving players, there's only 24 people that benefit from this, and those are the 24 getting paid. Everybody else involved with Auburn University, season ticket holders, suite holders, students, everybody else, they don't benefit from this. So, like, that's great that you're prioritizing 24 guys, but don't you want everyone to benefit? Local business owners, hotel owners, restaurant staff that would be getting game day tips and wages. Like, there's a lot of people that are impacted by a home game. So if there's a way to do this at a neutral site, there's got to be a way to do it at a home game. So hopefully they find that way to do it in the future, so we can avoid, more home games going by way of neutral site games in the future. Absolutely.
It's listen, you got to get creative. At the end of the day, we know that you got to find a way to do it, and you got to take care of business, kind of like Gusty Goulis and the Gusty Goulis Group always do. If you need a new home in Central Alabama, it's got to be the Gusty Goulis Group. Why, you might ask? Well, you think about what Gusty Goulis has done for customers in Central Alabama, serving more than 3,000 home buyers and sellers in the greater Birmingham area. Just Google it. You'll find over 850 5-star Google reviews. Gusty Goulis Group investing thousands marketing before and after you list with them. They want to get you in the best home possible, and when they get top dollar for your home. That's why you go to GustyGoulisGroup.com and see that button at the top right-hand corner of your page. Smash that, very little information. They'll tell you what they think they can get today for your home. 205-542-1996, brokered by eXp Realty, or go to GustyGoulisGroup.com and start packing. All right, we wrap up today's show next right here on Jocks.
Jocks 94.5 is live on YouTube every weekday, plus video shorts and podcasts. Find us at Jocks 94.5 and smash the subscribe and like button so you never miss a moment. Jocks 94.5 on YouTube.
All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. 9:53 Thursday, July 16th, right here on Jocks. Appreciate Roddy Jones, Wimp Sanderson, Justin Hokanson joining the show today. You can get all those podcasts, JocksFM.com, or on the Jocks app, or go rewatch it on YouTube. Search Jocks 945. Greg, tell our listeners about Polar Bear Services.
Well, Wes and the guys have been coming to our house for a long time, been helping me out for a long time, and I've always been so grateful to the professionalism and the variety of expertise they can provide. I think it's amazing how many things they've been able to do at our home. They've come out, they've helped me with my plumbing, they've helped me with my electrical. They've also done an amazing job of making sure that my HVAC system is running smoothly. I mean, I'm never worried about that thing going on the blink. Regardless of how hot it is, regardless of how miserable it is outside, it's always comfortable in my home thanks to my friends at Polar Bear Services. So remember, if you got a problem with your electrical, plumbing, heater, air, just pick up the phone and call the Bear. It's 205-497-BEAR. It's 497-BEAR.
All right, so we'll get a little bit more into SEC football tomorrow. But, Greg, when you look at ACC Media Days today, I asked Roddy Jones this question earlier. Dabo Swinney specifically, like, what do you expect to hear from him? What do you expect his sort of mood to be today?
Oh, I would say jovial. I don't think he'll take a lot of questions. He'll talk forever, so you might get 2 questions at the podium. I think he'll have really long answers. But I think he'll be positive and, you know, his typical aw shucks way. You know what I mean? That's kind of his personality. I think he'll be lovable. I don't think he'll be defending. I don't think he'll be, you know, on defense or I think he'll certainly say that they didn't live up to expectations last year, but really optimistic about this team. Like, we've won a lot of games. I know what I'm doing. I think that's how he'll approach it.
I'm interested to see just what his mood is. Is he temperamental? Is he excited? Is he pumped up? Is he relaxed? Is he confident? Because I think some of the questioning is not what he's going to want to answer, and we'll see where that goes. We'll have more for that tomorrow. ACC Media Days continues tomorrow, so we'll have more on that. And tomorrow we get you set for SEC Media Days, where we will be live in Tampa providing coverage all week long right here on Jocks. Thanks for being with us. Tomorrow, we'll talk more SEC football, ACC football, getting you set for the day that will be the final day of ACC Media Days, and then getting you set for the entire week of SEC Media Days. 3-man front coming at you next. I'll be hosting the Paul Feinbaum Show right here on Jocks after that. Keep it locked.
This is McElroy and Cubelic in the morning.
Hey, I'm Chris Van Vliet. Go behind the scenes and beyond the headlines with the biggest names in pro wrestling and beyond.
Jeff Jarrett, great to see you.
In this business, the story behind the scenes, so much more entertaining than what you see on camera.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman.
Mr. Heyman, you are a master at the little things. That's how you turn good into great.
What does it take to achieve greatness? Whatever it takes, I'm willing to do.
That's an Emmy-winning performance.
How about it?
Insight with Chris Van Vliet. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Jim Rome takes on sports.
Part of what makes this show is the show within the show. The biggest topic on the show always seems to be the show itself. This is a way to give you clones a way to interact with one another. Yes, we will be going through the chat. Yes, it'll be a part of the program. The only thing that could ruin the show are the old school clones spitting up the same bull crap that they always have. The jungle is out taking names and ready to dominate. Let's get it.
The Jim Rome Show podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
The United States Soccer Federation presents the U.S. Soccer Podcast.
I'm your host, Megan Klingenberg. One thing I promised you is an all-access pass that you wouldn't get on any other show. And we found out that whoever comes on scores a goal. Burhope, Freeman, Trusty. U.S. Soccer Podcast magic is real, people. We still got plenty of coverage all throughout this World Cup. Okay, let's get into it.
The U.S. Soccer Podcast, presented by Henkel. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.